All right, let's be real for a sec. You're scrolling through Instagram, and bam, Kanye West is selling a music player. Have you ever wondered if that stuff actually works?
It's like, does fame equal function?
Exactly. And you guys sent in a ton of celebrity tech reviews. I'm so ready to dive into this.
Yeah.
What do you say we try to figure out what makes something more than just a pretty face on the box?
Let's do it. I'm ready to separate the innovation from the, wait, they made this?
Perfect. Speaking of, let's kick things off with Will.i.am.
Okay.
The guy is no stranger to tech, right? But his Giles smartwatch. This review had me laughing and low-key terrified at the same time.
That's the one that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Yes. And get this, the magnet was so strong it ripped off the reviewer's arm.
Wow, talk about a design flaw. Makes you wonder if they were more focused on looks than, like, actual functionality.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't enough, he also has the whole fashion-forward face mask thing going on.
Right?
But all the tech in the world can't change the fact that the mask didn't even seal properly, according to the review.
Oof, that's rough, especially for something that's supposed to be protecting you. It's like the classic struggle between aesthetics and functionality. You gotta have both.
For sure. Form over function. A tale as old as time. But you know what? It's not all bad in Will.i.am land. His T-Pain microphone actually sounds kind of fun.
You mean the one that, like, auto-tunes your voice?
Yes, it's like he knows exactly what people associate him with, and he went for it.
That's pretty smart.
Right. And the reviewer said, don't expect to be topping the charts or anything. But if you're looking for a good time, it delivers.
I can see that. It's like sometimes, in the tech world especially, playing it safe can be a good thing.
Totally. Okay, speaking of knowing what you're good at, let's talk about Fernando Alonso and his Kamoa e-scooter.
From race cars to scooters, huh?
You would think a Formula One driver would bring some serious speed, but this scooter, I don't know, it seems like it stalled out before even reaching the starting line.
Was it all about the looks?
You already know. The reviewer was like, it's giving minimalist, but where's the substance? Like, is this thing even electric? That level of basic.
It makes you think, are people buying into the brand because of who he is or because the product is actually good? If it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, I mean, come on.
So true. Tech has to actually perform, especially in a market that's constantly moving.
For sure.
Which brings us to a celebrity whose gaming console, well, it basically became famous for all the wrong reasons.
Soulja Boy, right. The Soulja Boy game console.
The one and only.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a misstep, it was a total faceplant. False promises, the quality was all over the place, and don't even get me started on the whole thing about it being a cheaper console that was just rebranded.
And those AI claims. For the upgraded version. Talk about overselling and underdelivering. This is why you can't mess around with consumer trust, especially when it comes to tech.
It's a tough lesson, but an important one. You've got to do your research, especially when a product is promising you the world. Sometimes keeping it simple is better, as long as it works. Speaking of simple, have you heard of Harry Kane and his Our Pure Planet speaker?
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, a football star known for keeping things clean decides to make sustainable electronics. It kind of makes sense.
It does, but then it makes you think how green is a product that's, well, maybe not that great. Like, what if it breaks sooner because it wasn't made that well? Is it really sustainable then?
That's the thing. The review even mentioned that there are cheaper speakers out there with way better sound. So it's potentially not as environmentally friendly, and it might not sound that good. Tough crowd.
It's like sustainability has layers, you know? You've got to think about how long something lasts, how well it performs. It's not just about what it's made of.
Exactly. A product that's in a landfill a year later isn't helping anyone. Okay, let's move on to something a little different. Kanye West and his stem player. This one actually seems kind of cool tech-wise.
I was curious about that one. It lets you change parts of a song in real time, right?
Yeah, it's wild. It's like something out of a producer's dreams. The thing is, the price tag was, well, let's just say it wasn't cheap. And while the functionality is cool, it seems kind of limited.
It's that balance of being new and exciting, but also actually useful. I mean, Kanye is all about pushing boundaries, so it makes sense, but that also means it's not going to be for everyone.
For sure. Not everyone needs to remix music on the go, as cool as that sounds. But hey, at least someone is experimenting. All right, now, for a celebrity whose popcorn dreams went up in smoke. Literally.
Drew Barrymore with the popcorn machine?
The one and only. The popcorn machine. How could you go wrong? Apparently, very easily.
Really? What happened?
I'm telling you, this review read like a comedy of errors. Smoke, butter, everywhere, chaos.
It actually malfunctioned.
Oh, big time. It just goes to show, Even with the best of intentions, you need more than a celebrity to make a product.
It also makes you realize how important the actual product development team is.
100%. Okay, but let's end this on a more positive note.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hilary Duff and her below 60-cent diffuser.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Below 60.
Right. It's a whole thing. It's supposed to be like a reference to the freshest air being 60 degrees south of the equator, which is near Antarctica.
Clever marketing. But was the actual product any good?
Okay, so the reviewer knows their stuff when it comes to fragrances. They were really impressed. The design is sleek, it has some unique features, and most importantly, the scents are amazing.
Sounds like a hit. It
Yeah.
seems like they knew their target audience, people who are willing to spend a little extra for something nice.
Exactly. Proof that even in a crowded market, there's space for a well-made product.
It's interesting how some celebs, they go and build their own brands,
Yeah.
and then others, they team up with names that are already out there.
Right.
Which actually, that's a perfect transition to our next one, Olivia Rodrigo's signature Link Buds. They came out with Sony.
Of course, pop star earphones. That seems like a no-brainer.
Totally. And she even had her producer create like custom sound profiles, supposed to be tuned to her albums and everything.
Oh, wow.
But the reviewer, they weren't that impressed.
Really? What was wrong with them?
The sound quality was fine, but I don't know, nothing special. Even with the custom profiles, I guess it just shows that just because a celebrity is super into something, it doesn't mean it's going to be amazing for everyone else.
It's got to be more than just a name on the box.
Yeah, exactly.
With this next one I thought was really interesting. It's Will Smith in Insta360.
Okay.
Now, that just seems like a match made in heaven when it comes to marketing, right?
Insta360, they make those cool action cameras.
Right. And Will Smith, he's the Fresh Prince. The article talked about how he's their global ambassador and how their X4 camera's like perfect for him.
Right.
They even mentioned that bullet time feature.
Yeah.
So you can create that matrix effect with one camera.
So much cheaper than having to use a million cameras like they did in the movie.
Right. And it just shows that celebrity endorsements can actually work if there's a real connection there.
For sure. It can't just be about like star power. It's got to make sense together.
Absolutely. All right. Ready for another footballer in the tech world? This time is Kylian Mbappe. He partnered up with this luxury speaker brand. It's called L. They made a Bluetooth speaker.
Okay, so Mbappe and a high-end speaker. Interesting.
Right, and from the sounds of it, it's actually really good. The reviewer was raving about the design, how powerful the sound was, the battery life.
Nice.
They were saying that it looks and sounds expensive, which is kind of important when you're talking about a luxury product, right?
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like a good example of when a celebrity can actually make a product even better just by being associated with it. It wasn't just about branding, it was about adding something to it.
Okay, let's talk about someone who knows how to do business. Kim Kardashian. She teamed up with Beats by Dre for a line of Studio Pro headphones.
Oh, yeah, those minimalist headphones, the flesh-toned ones, those were
Yeah.
everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they weren't just for show. The reviewer actually really liked the sound quality. They gave Kim props for going with a brand that's known for making good headphones.
Smart. Kim Kardashian definitely knows how to use her influence. She didn't try to create something completely new,
Yeah.
She picked a product that already worked and just made it her own.
It worked. All right, we've reached the peak of the celebrity pyramid, the Cristiano Ronaldo of this deep dive.
Okay, I'm a little scared to ask, what does he have for us?
Get ready to laugh. He's the co-founder of a company that makes electronics. It's called Rock, and their first product is earphones.
Earphones. Seriously, the most famous athlete in the world, and he's making earphones. You think he'd come out with something a bit more groundbreaking?
You would think, but no, just earphones. And they weren't even that great, according to the review. The reviewer said they were way overpriced and that you could get the same sound quality for way cheaper somewhere else.
The irony. I guess even someone as famous as Cristiano Ronaldo can't escape a bad product. It makes you wonder if sometimes having a big name attached to something can actually hurt it.
It's all about expectations, right?
Yeah.
If the product doesn't live up to who's selling it, it's going to be even more disappointing.
For sure. People probably expect more, and then when it's just okay, it's even worse.
Exactly. It's a good lesson for everyone. Do your research, be careful, and make sure you actually like the product, not just who's selling it. Speaking of which, remember Hilary Duff's below 60-cent diffuser?
Yeah, what about it?
Turns out that whole fancy experience might come with a downside.
What do you mean?
The reviewer, they loved the scents and the way it looked, but they said that the fragrance things, the cartridges, they ran out super fast.
Bummer. It's like the classic trade-off. You get a cool design and all these fancy features, but then it ends up costing you more in the long run.
Right. They were even comparing it to those reed diffusers. They were saying that the scent lasts way longer with those. So maybe the below 60 diffuser is nice to look at and smells great, but it might not be the best if you're looking for something that lasts. It's like they say you get what you pay for.
Sometimes you're just paying for the name or the fancy packaging.
Totally. So after all that, after this whole deep dive into celebrity tech, what surprised you the most?
It's really how you never know what you're going to get. You'd think a bigger name would automatically mean a better product, but that's not always how it goes. Like Kim Kardashian and Beats. That was a smart move. She used their knowledge to make something cool. But then you have someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got all the fame in the world, and his product just wasn't that great.
People can tell when something is just a marketing scheme.
Totally. Especially younger people. They want something real, not just a famous face on a product.
It all comes down to being a smart shopper. It doesn't matter who's telling you to buy something, do your research.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we just want stuff that makes our lives better. Celebrity or no celebrity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So next time you see some shiny new gadget and your favorite celeb is telling you to buy it, take a second. Do some digging, read some reviews, and ask yourself, is it really worth it? You might find something amazing from a brand you've never even heard of.
Yeah, you might just avoid wasting your money.
Exactly. Well, this has been fun, hasn't it? A real eye-opener into the world of celebrity tech. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, happy gadget hunting, everyone.